You're doing all the right things, but you're still exhausted, just snappy, or you're just off. Have you ever thought maybe your mental health right now is under attack by things you don't even notice? See, it's not just the big things like grief, trauma that are impacting your well-being. They are, but that's not the be-all and end-all. Sometimes it's your phone notifications, constant background noise, the way your boss messages you at 9:17 p.m. and your body tenses, the subtle pressure to smile when you feel empty inside. These are all micro triggers, and unfortunately, they're quietly messing around with your head. If we look at it from a physical medical standpoint, most people wait until they crash or they physically injure themselves or hurt themselves before they pay more significant attention to their well-being and their recovery. So like people will go and see a physiotherapist, an osteopath, etc., and won't do the work beforehand in regards to maybe doing yoga, Pilates, or some sort of deep-rooted stretch. They only go and seek assistance when the problem has arisen, right? The same thing's applicable when it comes to your mental health. Most people only begin to pay attention when it all becomes too much. But by then, you're already in deep burnout, anxiety is skyrocketing through the roof, and you're spiraling out of control with dirty habits you didn't really want in the first place, but they've now become your escape. These are things you could have softened a lot earlier if you knew where to look. Today in this video, I'm going to be talking about what are the mental health triggers that are not so much directly in your face, but are hidden behind the scenes. These are like invisible stresses that have been piling up, and I kind of want you to think of them like emotional clutter. But before I go into that, standard YouTube house rules. If you are a fan of the Unfiltered nature and you love the podcast and you love this kind of material, if I could ask you politely, before I get any further, if you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, if you could please hit that subscribe button, it does go a long way. It does hit home in regards to me building this Unfiltered brand and this Unfiltered page, and everything works quite hand in hand once you subscribe. And if you're a fan of what I'm putting out here, surely you want to get those notifications of when the latest video drops, right? So if you can, cheeky subscribe goes a long way. That being said, back to the video. I've got them written down here. What are the hidden mental health triggers, right? These things that you're talking about that hiding behind the scenes, what are they? These invisible stresses. Let's break it down a little bit more. The first one that comes up, and this is something I'm recognizing a lot more, is decision fatigue. We have so many decisions that are going on and on and on in our head right now. We have so many small choices. We are consciously thinking whether or not we should make them or not. This tires us out. If you think about it, what to eat, what to wear, what to say, what train to take, what route should I take, what song to play, what's going to calm me down, what's going to rattle me up, there's so many things that go on and on and on and on. And we're tired and we're burning out by these thoughts, but decision fatigue can really play a part. It's something we don't really think about. Another thing that comes up, and this probably doesn't help because you're watching this on a digital platform, but digital overload. If you listen to this now on YouTube, or this has been taken to a short form content and it's now there on TikTok or it's on Instagram, think about it. How often are you scrolling through your TikTok page, through your Instagram reels, through your stories? You're just swiping right. How often are you doing that before you go to bed? What goes on in your head right now? What are the thoughts that are coming up based on the things that you're seeing? Are you stimulated? Are you now hurt by what you're seeing? Is it causing a reaction, positive or negative? Are you thinking about something so positive right now that now you can't stop thinking about it? So then what happens to your sleep? What happens to your recovery if this is in your head right now? Like, is this now starting to make sense? If we look at one of the other triggers that comes up is performative relationships. Sounds a bit weird. Let me land. This is where you can't be your full self. Just think of the relationships right now where you feel like you have to be, in my words, a filtered version of you. Like you have to change. You have to like blend into the new scenario, the new setting. Are you really being you? And finally, one of the other things that come up is low-level invalidation. And what I mean by this is when people brush off your feelings and say you're overreacting. Does that feel like a trigger for you? And these are things that probably go over your head, right? These are things that just happen day to day, right? Let me tell you why we miss out on them, why we don't really recognize that they're a problem, why they're really a challenge. Because let's be honest, between you and I right now, we normalize stress. It's part of the job. It's part of the day-to-day activities that come with doing what I'm doing, right? Another thing that comes up within society and the content creation space and things that we see on YouTube in regards to, let's say, motivation, there's this big praise around the hustle and the grind element. Keep going, no matter what kind of energy. I'll put my hands up. I've said it before. I sometimes might parade myself and saying, yo, you've got to keep pushing, you've got to battle through. But I also try to articulate that if you're in a position right now where you are drained, you kind of can't perform the way you want to. And I use like the iPhone analogy, but you can take any piece of technology. Your My iPad, my MacBook that's over there, my phones, these cameras, my watch can't do what it needs to do if it's running on low battery. You might have to put it into low power mode, and what happens then? Does that affect the performance? Of course. It's a similar kind of thing in regards to you. So if we have this societal noise telling you to keep going no matter what, keep pushing, but really and truly you've got nothing left in the tank, how can you keep pushing? That's burning you out. That's draining you. And having that always on, that available mindset, whether it's like work related or family related, like you're always there, it means like the inside of you, your nervous system, that can't get a rest. Like it's now not acceptable for you to switch off and turn down for the night or turn down for the day. And these like hidden triggers, they don't always cause breakdowns. Think of it like a car, essentially. Just because something seems a bit faulty, it might affect the drive. It might lead to erosion. So these things that are going on behind the scenes right now that are affecting your mental health, it might be things you can power through. But if it's chipping away at you, and if it's breaking you down as a person, let me ask you this. What version of you right now is turning up in 10 years' time if you continue the way you're going about life right now? What version of you is turning up in terms of, let's say, your physical health? How are you looking in 10 years' time if you continue on the same diet based on the work requirements that you have to just abide to? If you're sleeping relatively less hours, your recovery is poor, what version of you is turning up in 10 years' time when you have kids? What version of you is turning up to your kids if you're emotionally unavailable because you're so much bogged down into the work that you're putting in? Because we're not looking that far ahead. And then there's this fine line of live in the present, live in the present. So I've got to just keep grinding and keep doing what I'm doing right now. Fine, I hear you. I do hear you. But you've also got to take some context in this and ask yourself the question, if this is battering me right now, I can take it for however long, but how am I then turning up the next week? Because if I'm progressively getting worse in terms of how I'm able to show up in regards to like my energy, what's that doing for me long term? Because sometimes we'll get lost in this cycle and then we'll continue. And what does that lead to? Burnout. So I kind of like want to like just close this with things that you can start doing today. So the first thing you can do, and I want you to hit pause right after I say this to start listing them out. Get your pen and paper ready. I want you to name what's actually draining you. I want you to think about it. Is it the meetings? Is it certain people? Is it overcommitment? Really try to hone into what's really bothering you right now. What's really absorbing your energy? What's getting you to a state where it's just unbearable to be able to move forward with a positive state of mind. If you've unpaused this right now and you're back into the video, the second thing I want you to do is to introduce something I call transition time. It sounds quite weird, but something that worked quite helpful for me when I used to work my 9 to 5 was taking 10-minute breaks to reset. Now it would look quite unprofessional because I'd get up and go for a coffee or go get some water or go stretch my legs or go to the toilet or something. But that 10 minutes to like just declutter or maybe process something else that's really been bothering me allowed me to step into a place where I could switch. If my thoughts were running wild in regards to, like I say, a relationship situation or something quite personal, right? But I had to be bogged down in regards to my work and I was typing away and doing the things that had to be done. That 10 minutes to just to go to the bathroom and just be like, okay. It allowed me to still perform well. So maybe that's something that you can start to introduce. Transition time. The other thing I jotted down was protect your inputs. I don't do this enough. Maybe something that I should do. But start your day without your phone. Start your day without those notifications popping off. And maybe end it with silence. You know, like no Netflix, no autoplay, just silence. I think that might reset the mindset a little bit better for you because the distractions have disappeared. And if it's not available, you can't like be addicted enough to just tune back in to be like, what did he say? What did she say? What notifications did I get? So I'm quite bad at this because I'll be honest with you, I play meditation music at night. And so I'll put on a playlist and just there. But it's something I could even possibly apply to myself too. Just silence. Just sit there, unwind, let your thoughts do what they need to do and knock out and start the day the same way too. Get up, we have a glass of water, brush your teeth, straight in the shower, do your routine, and then pick up your phone. And finally, the last thing I want you to do is audit your shoulds. Sound a bit weird? Let me land. I want you to think about, are you doing it because it's aligned or because it's expected? Because sometimes we get thrown these, oh, you should have done this, you should have done that. But how many times are those shoulds things that you're expected to do versus things that actually are aligned in regards to your purpose and your passion and the meaning behind doing these things? I want to leave that for food for thought. To close this all off, mental health. It isn't just about, let's say, depression, anxiety, a lack of confidence, low self-esteem, self-doubt. It's not just those key words. It's about what chips away at your peace. And it doesn't necessarily have to be something that chips away at it quite drastically in the moment, but it's doing it quietly behind the scenes. It's doing it by the hour. It's doing it by the day. And if it's chipping away at your peace, thing inside of you that gives you that tranquil kind of vibe, How healthy is that long term? What does that do to your peace? Anyway, if you found this useful, you know what to do. Again, hit the subscribe button. I kind of just wanted to just drop a short little video clip just to kind of like reiterate the thought process around mental health and triggers. And yeah, it's been your boy Pri, and I'll catch you soon. Peace.